Hello and welcome to LOLC Securities Global Market Roundup, a brand new month-end show just for you. I'm Tariffs.
From Asia Pacific to the Americas, this is where we discuss the latest in the global markets. I am Megara Vijayamana.
President Donald Trump made good on his threat to double the tariffs on India, where he imposed a 50% tariff on the imports from India. This could severely damage the trading relations with one of the most significant trading partners of the US and will most probably drive the consumer prices higher in the US.
This is a doubling of the existing 25% duty on Indian exports. The levies will hit more than 55% of goods shipped to the US, India's biggest market, and hurt labor-intensive industries like textiles and jewelry the most. Key exports like electronics and pharmaceuticals are exempt, sparing Apple Inc.'s massive new factory investments in India for now.
News from the capital markets of China. The past 1 month has seen a rally of more than 1 trillion USD being added to the market values of the Chinese stocks, and one of the main driving factors have been the household savings.
China's individual investors are jumping on the bandwagon of a surprising stock market rally, eyeing more gains that they believe will be buttressed by state support and potential foreign inflows. The nation's 240 million retail stock traders are cheering the breakout of the benchmark Shanghai Composite Index, which hit its highest level in a decade this month, leaving behind the trauma of two short-lived run-ups in recent years. China's markets are now capitalized at $12.3 trillion, having added about 1 trillion USD in value over the past month, according to Bloomberg data.
The Airports Co. South Africa SOC Limited plans to spend 21.7 billion rand on an infrastructure program in the next 12 months and will raise about half of this amount. In an interview with Luzuko Mbotia, the Airports Co. South Africa SOC Limited will pursue long-term infrastructure debt instruments and loans with favorable terms. He further stated that the company's improved financial position has put it on favorable terms with banks and other foreign institutions who are keen to lend it capital. AXA's profit more than doubled to 1.1 billion rand in the year through March 2025. The airports company, which sits on a cash pile of 5.9 billion rand, is seeking to refurbish its networks of airports through 2032. It plans to fund the other half of the project through capital reserves generated from operations. The European Union will seek to fast-track the legislation on removing all tariffs on US industrial goods, a demand made by President Donald Trump before he removes the EU's automobile export tariffs. The European Commission, which handles trade matters for the EU, will also give preferential tariff rates on certain seafood and agricultural goods, according to people familiar with the matter. The EU has conceded that the trade arrangement struck with Trump favors the US, but that the accord is necessary to give businesses stability and certainty. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen previously described it as a strong, if not perfect, deal. The move comes even as Trump has threatened to impose tariffs and other penalties on countries that tax online services without specifying which nations he would target and whether the EU would be involved. Trump has long railed against EU tech and antitrust regulation over US tech giants including Alphabet Inc.'s Google and Apple Inc.
News from the emerging markets. Vietnam is planning to switch towards ethanol-blended gasoline from next year. This will enable the Southeast Asian nation to import more ethanol and corn from the US.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has submitted a proposal to the government to switch to E10, a blend that mixes gasoline with up to 10% of bioethanol, according to ministry documents reviewed by Reuters. It currently uses the RON 95 and RON 92 unleaded gasoline standards. The switch will pave the way for the import of American ethanol and corn to Vietnam as the Southeast Asian country seeks to narrow its trade gap with the United States, its largest export market, according to one document. The United States recorded a trade deficit of $123 billion with Vietnam last year, one of its highest globally.
The US government will acquire a 10% stake in Intel, marking one of the most direct government interventions in the tech sector in years. The chief financial officer for the chip manufacturer Intel, David Zinsner, has announced his company received $5.7 billion as part of a deal negotiated with the administration of United States President Donald Trump. As part of the deal, the government negotiated a 5-year warrant for an additional 5% of Intel's shares in case the company should cease to own more than 51% of its manufacturing operations. Trump campaigned for re-election on the promise that he would restore the US's domestic manufacturing industry and outcompete economic rivals like China in the technology sector.
And that's it for this month's LOLC Securities Global Market Roundup. No matter what investment decision you make it with the right intent. We will see you in a brand new week.